recommendation I give them, right? It basically, there's less competition. You become this trusted expert and less price sensitivity. This is the solution I keep proposing to everybody. And what it is, I tell everybody the same thing.
You're listening to The Angry Designer Podcast, where we help frustrated graphic designers crush the industry bull and learn what it takes to charge what you're worth and build badass, rewarding careers.
In this episode, we're diving into one of the most powerful strategies for standing out in a crowded design world, finding your industry niche. From identifying what excites you to positioning yourself as the go-to expert. We're not talking theory, high level, wonky bullshit here. We're actually giving you insights, actionable insights, shit to do, including 7 clear steps on how to discover your industry niche. So grab yourself a drink, keep your eyes on that road, or get your butt to work because we've got you covered.
Okay.
Wow. Look at this. Look at what we have today.
Okay.
So, I didn't realize how much you loved country music, Sean.
What?
And I thought I was bringing you something special today, but, today we are trying a whiskey called Traveler. This is Chris Stapleton's whiskey.
Oh, God.
I'm
sorry, everybody.
Because he's kind of rocky, and I know you're into rock so much, but it's just, I just, you know what? I think maybe I like because he's rocky, but I also like that he kind of looks like Aaron Draplin with long hair.
He could be a designer,
right?
Chris Stapleton.
Well, oddly, Aaron Draplin did work for Chris Stapleton. Yes, and there was this funny image. I don't know if they actually took a picture or they just did 2 profiles of both of them nose to nose.
Oh,
it was amazing. You have to find that on his feed. Yeah. Needless to say, I was looking for a bourbon that I haven't tried. Mm-hmm. And, granted, I am not the world's biggest country fan, but I respect guys like this who are pretty kick-ass.
Like
he's massive.
He's big.
Right?
People love the guy.
Yep. And so when you're big like this, you can make whiskey. Yeah. And apparently a lot of his music is about whiskey. There's several different whiskey songs and whiskey blues.
Is this whiskey or is this bourbon?
So here's the thing. It's called Traveler Whiskey, which I think is one of his songs. But this is a collaboration between Chris Stapleton and is it the Buffalo Trace Brewery? Yeah, Buffalo Trace. It was a collaboration between him and Buffalo Trace. And Buffalo Trace makes some really nice stuff.
Okay.
So let's give it a shot and let's see if we're going to turn into Chris Stapleton after this song, after this drink. Cheers.
Solid.
Oh, that smells strong. That's for sure. It smells nice. Oh, damn, guy. That's the flavor I've been looking for a couple weeks now.
Oh, my God.
That's sweet,
really
but not sweet like Drake's thing. Another musician who decided to do something. What is it with these guys? It's got, you can taste vanilla, right? Nice vanilla. Not really caramel. I wouldn't say it's overly sweet, but it's far from harsh.
No.
It's smooth, and there's not as much of a chase.
There's no burn.
Taste, but you don't feel it? I feel a little bit. I feel a little bit, but it's welcomed anyway.
Geez, that's really nice. Mm-hmm. That is smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Chris.
See?
I feel you, dog.
See?
I'm not a big fan of the music, but your whiskey's pretty fucking awesome.
Whiskey's really good. Never mind. So, we're recording on a Friday.
Yep.
It's been a hell of a week, dude.
Holy shit. Yes.
It has been busy.
Why is it that short weeks are the worst weeks?
Oh, man. And the funny thing is, whether we had an extra day to this week, I still don't think it would have been enough.
No.
It just feels overwhelming right now.
It's why is it this time of year is the busiest time of year?
Well, and again, it's very cyclical.
Yeah.
Right? To the industry. We could almost time this out exactly.
Yep.
And it kind of makes me feel bad sometimes because a big question that I get a lot, whether it's our Instagram, whether it's people are emailing us through our website, whatever, it's how do I get work? How do I get customers? How do I break into the space? It seems like, although we're going gangbusters,
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's been, like the lead up of the 25 plus years that, we've been doing this, our experience, regardless, while we're flying right now, and we're very fortunate and appreciative of this, not everybody, it's a tough time right now for other people, right? It just seems like people are not going through the same stuff. They're struggling for a lot more from customers, right? And again, I always tend to give the same kind of advice to people, which I feel bad. I can almost copy and paste, but we'll get into that a little bit. I don't copy and paste, okay? Just so you guys know. And so it's like, the problems that I'm getting, that I'm hearing and that I'm reading from people, and I've got this all listed here, right, is obviously lots of competition. Okay, they're getting, designers are everywhere, and they're basically all competing for the same pool of work, right? Like they're Kitchener-Waterloo or Toronto designers or Kansas designers, or no matter where, they're all fighting for the same customers in the same pool of work, right? So, that's an issue. And then we've talked about personal branding and this and that. There's so many ways around that, but that just seems like it's a constant thing. Everything's very price-driven. Okay. Everything is like, customers are, often, because there's so many different people that they can choose from, they're, now they have the advantage. They can be like, okay, who's cheaper?
The race to the bottom begins.
And the race to the bottom. And I hate that.
I know.
But, by being so many people in the same pool of work, it's kind of like it's a buyer's market.
Yeah.
It can be.
Yes.
Right. And they can be like, okay, well, if you don't want it, I'll find another graphic designer with, 10 years experience that will do this for that price. Right. And okay, within reason. Of course, within reason, it starts becoming hard to stand out for people. And they're like, well, how can we do it? And again, while we do promote and push personal branding, right, you can only do that for so long and so much if you're still just trying to break in, right? So that's a challenge, right? And then with that being said, you're new to the space, or you don't have that much of a portfolio or run up or runway from what you've done. So there's client doubt always. Okay. And clients are like second guessing. Are you actually as good as you say you are?
Right.
Can you do the job? Right. And so it's like, until you actually get to that first complete job with the customer, there's all this trepidation. They hold back money sometimes, right? They're questioning you a lot more, right? So it's another hurdle to overcome, right? Obviously, like, low-paying customers are everywhere. Okay, can't do anything about this. And then, and again, as designers who are all scattered, all fighting for the same pool, right? Their focus is completely scattered, right? Because they're just jumping around doing gig after gig from, A to Z, and they're just trying
all over the map too.
Exactly. Right. So they're all trying to get to the same place. Okay. And I always give them the same kind of response, more or less. I don't know if anybody's taken it. I hope some people take it seriously, because this was a game changer, for us. It was a game changer for other people that I know, other, celebrity designers we've talked to, right? The recommendation I give them, right? It basically, there's less competition. Okay. It eliminates your competition.
Nice.
Okay. Fewer competitors, right? Who can offer the same thing. Even if they do offer or can do what you do, still fewer competitors. Okay. Many more few. The value that you offer to customers goes through the roof. Okay. You become this trusted expert as opposed to them doubting you. Okay. On a regular basis. The loyalty then, when they get you, right, is they're going to stick with you and keep coming back time and time and time again, to the point where you're going to grow probably faster than you would expect to have grown.
And don't forget the recommendations from them to other people.
Stronger recommendations across the board, right? Like, we're talking now that, because everybody wants to recommend somebody that has done well for them.
That's right.
Right? And less price sensitivity. Like, let's face it, right? You can, going down this road, you can charge a premium price, and customers will happily pay this. So this is the solution I keep proposing to everybody. And what it is, I tell everybody the same thing. You guys have to seriously consider niching down. Okay. And it sounds silly. And so today we're going to talk about, not only, again, why to niche, and the benefits of niching, but then we're also going to, by the end of this, I'm going to, obviously give, 7 steps on how to find your niche. Cause I think maybe that might be some, people's, trepidations on going down this road, right? Maybe they just don't know, if they can find the right niche for them. Right. But, the reality is I want to talk about some myths, the benefits of, but this is how people should crack into this market. I mean, there's just so many reasons why this is just, the best thing for a designer, a design agency. And it can work if you're a freelancer. It can work if you're an agency. It could even work if you're an in-house guy, right? Like you.
Yeah.
Geez, I think that's the only thing I'd be worried about is if, teaching you all those secrets and then you leave and then come back and being our number one competitor.
Don't worry, I'd still call you and try to figure out, hey, how do I do this right?
Damn, Sean.
You don't work here anymore. I'm not giving you any secrets. Come on. It's like Step Brothers. Or no, the Talladega Nights. He lives in his house.
That's amazing. So okay. So yeah, surprise, niching, but it's not like, and also I do want to, make sure we define niche in this episode.
Yeah, that's good.
Because there's different niches, and I think people always tend to lean to one and kind of like get cold feet on it, right?
Yes, because it's kind of it almost sounds like you're in isolation.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
And that's not it.
And that's not it at
no,
all.
It's
yes.
not.
No,
So okay, just to start from the basics, right? What is a niche, right? It's a specific market or group of people that you are going to serve.
Yes.
Okay, a specific market or group of people, okay? And it is the number one way that can separate you from everybody else, and especially in a crowded industry like this. No longer are you going to have to fight for the same pool of work that everybody else is going to, okay? Right. So there's two types of niches, okay? But in all fairness, I can only genuinely talk about one. Okay. And what I mean by that is there's two niches. We are one of those two types of niches, okay? And that's what we're going to talk about today, because to me, personally speaking, based on the effect it's had for us, the effect it's had on our agency, the experience I have lived and breathed the past 25 years has been being one of these two types, okay? The other one, I can just give you my opinion on, okay?
Okay.
And I think obviously you can too, okay? So two types of niches, okay? Number one, a design discipline niche. Okay. So this is basically when you focus on one type of design work. Okay. Whether that's you become a PowerPoint agency, or designer, which is pretty fucking cool, because we know somebody in Toronto and she is fantastic.
Amazing.
She charges like 15 grand per PowerPoint. Okay. Which is fucking
insane.
But that's what they do.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's her shop, and it fucking rocks. Okay. So I love that idea. We know some of our friends are logo design specialists, right? All they do is logo strategy, logo brand, right? That's it. They don't even no matter how hard I try to get them into web, they don't want it. They don't want web. They're doing logo and corporate ID. Okay, cool, right?
And what did we say about that? You're leaving a lot of money on the table when you do stuff like that.
In our opinion, yes, right? Because we are an agency and it's a little different format. But their design discipline is, like they want to become logo experts. Yeah. That's what they're known for, and awesome. For them, right? And God bless. Are rock stars in their space, okay? And we always talk about these people every single week, right? So again, the benefit here is, of course, you start getting this depth of knowledge, you start building this repertoire, you start getting a name for yourself for this specific design discipline, okay? Which is fantastic, right? In that sense. My only concern about this is over the past 25 years, I've seen huge swings in the industry. Massive, right? Like I remember when 99 Designs came out, okay? And crowdsourcing came out, and the impact initially that had on the logo design community. Okay. I remember logo designers were struggling now because they were charging back then $1,500, $2,000 for a logo. All of a sudden for $100, you can get 100 different designs. And, some of them were okay, and it made their lives miserable for a while. Okay. Then as things progress now, like the big talk, of course, is AI and it's getting better and bigger and better. And now granted, while AI won't ever replace, the thought process of Alan Peters, right? Absolutely not. Or CJ Colley. Like you hear how these guys go through it, right? You hear them talk through it. It won't replace that. Nope. Okay. But, for certain people in a certain market set, they're not going to care. No, they're just looking for that end result. And, while that may not affect the high end work that these guys are getting, it might affect the low to mid end work, the quick jobs, the coffee shops, the local gigs that a lot of designers go through. Right. Yes. So that's where I shy from this one, because I've seen this happen, and, I've seen big industries get disrupted. So we never went down this road. Okay. The second type of niche that you can do is a specific industry niche. Yes. Okay. Yeah. And this is the one that we've embraced from the start. We've embraced this for the past 25 years, right? It has served us well.
Yeah.
Okay. This is basically you're focusing on one specific industry. Okay.
Yes.
Healthcare or pharma, which is similar but still different.
Yep.
Animals. Okay. We focused on B2B technology companies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this was our space. You can offer, and I always wanted, even though, I was a graphic designer and I'm a passionate graphic designer, I always wanted to have the full service agency.
Yes.
Because I like doing video. I like doing layout.
Yes. It's all good. I mean, these are great experiences that I would be awful to miss out on these things, right?
Right.
Like I love the idea of being a logo designer, but no, it just seems like there's so many other things.
And that's what I love, right?
Yeah.
I love taking design discipline
Yes.
and applying it everywhere.
Yes,
and that's how
exactly.
we sell it to
Yes.
everybody. So we sell to our customers and everything, right?
Yep.
So we're still, very much a full service shop, but we're only marketing to a specific industry.
Right.
That's not to say that, if somebody comes and it's an interesting job,
Yep.
and they sought, after us because of some reason or skill or our mindset, and and they're willing to pay what we want.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that we're going to say no to that work.
No.
I mean, oddly, we have we're doing a lawyer's website right now.
Yes.
We're helping them out with their brand, the lawyers, and it's more for the strategy, the vision behind it.
Right.
Completely change that out. Okay, totally different than what we've done.
Yeah.
But there's a cool opportunity, cool personality jive. So okay, we'll take it. But we don't advertise that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go market that, hey, we do lawyer websites as well.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not what we do. We market that we are a B2B brand strategy and technology company or you know what I'm saying,
Yes,
right? We have our niche. And that's what we're trying to get across here, right? So, and again, the nice thing about us having an industry niche and why I keep telling everybody to push the industry niche, right? Is because you start learning the language of the industry.
Yes.
The business jargon that we make so much fun about, but it's legit. Acronyms, terms, stages of gestation, like all that crap.
Yep.
Right. We start understanding and become part of that conversation with people, right?
Yeah.
We understand the culture pain points because we're integrated. We understand how it works and where people slow down, where the stalls, which for us means there's opportunities. Okay. We start, seeing the needs of the industry in and out. And then, what happens is we are then on a different level with these customers and we can talk their talk.
Right.
Okay. So it's not now shop talk for a design agency. It's shop talk for an industry.
Yes.
And that changes everything.
Yeah.
Because then we'll go to a networking event, and this has 100% happened to me. And I feel like such a dick when it happens, but I'll be at a networking event, and as people cluster in groups and this and that. And then they're like, oh, what do you do? What do you do? Oh, I have, an agency, a graphic design agency, and we're a local shop, whatever. Cool, right? Keep talking, right? Oh, what do you do? Oh, we've got a brand strategy creative agency that focuses on B2B technology companies. We understand the problems. We're helping technology companies, look more global. And then all of a sudden it's just like, and then all of a sudden they pinpoint that conversation. And we're in the same group.
Yeah.
The girl beside me or the dude, from the other shop could do work exactly the same.
Yeah.
Right. The output could be, similar, they can, whether it's design, ad, brochure, website, whatever, but that conversation isn't there. There's nothing there to break the ice.
Right.
So it's just like almost not that they're shunned, but they're just kind of like overlooked.
Yeah, exactly. Because you've got a leg up because the technology talk, the jargon, if you will.
And that's it, right?
Yes.
Huge difference, dude.
Exactly.
Huge difference.
Big time.
And it really does. The only downfall, okay, and again, we have experienced this downfall, okay, is potentially, if there is a recession in that space,
right,
you are subject to the ramifications of that. And unfortunately, marketing is often the first thing to go. Okay. However, our business attitude has always been land and expand.
Yep.
We don't just go in and do their letterheads.
Yeah.
We don't just go in and do their social media. Yeah. We want it all. We're greedy fuckers, right? And because we've understood how they do their business, how they run their business, okay, they may pull back on social media help. Yeah. Or they might or better yet, they might just have to pull back, but they still, from a budget of, 100% pull back to 30%.
30%, yeah.
We're still there because we're integrated. We're integrated, and they're not going to go elsewhere, and they're not going to bring it in-house because they realize even though in-house they might have access to that kind of experience and knowledge, intricate knowledge of the space itself, they won't be able to do what we do with
They
it.
don't. That's the thing. It's
Yes.
the 1-2 punch. Really.
It is. It is.
Yes.
There's so much benefit of this, right? And this is where it's just like my recommendation to everybody when they're like, I can't find work. I'm like, well, what's your niche? Oh, I don't have one.
We don't have a niche.
I don't want to limit myself.
Yes,
and that's what I hear. And that really pisses me off when I hear that. Because again, it's just, that's one of those myths that we'll cover later. But I mean, again, you're not limiting anything. You're opening up the whole world to this.
Yes. It's frightening, but we will cover this, right?
Yeah.
Well, how to not be afraid of this. Yes. Because you get that a lot, probably.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I do,
wow.
right?
I don't want to do that. That sounds like out of my wheelhouse.
And it is. There's so many misconceptions that people have about this. They always go to the negative about this, but they never realize the benefits of niching.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. There's so many benefits about doing this that people don't get from a business perspective. Okay. Let's straight up, right? My example, you eliminate your competition.
Yeah.
Right away. Okay.
Right.
That was one thing I really wanted to do because I was like, shit, how am I going to, outcompete these people? Because there's some good shops. There were some good people. When I started Z Factor, there was like 36 other agencies.
Was huge. Yeah. And
in a town of like 400,000. And there were, right?
Yes.
And it was like, how do we stand out, right? And then we stood out by completely serving a market in a different way. And in fact, what happened is we were like a layer above them. Photoshop reference. And and it was like, they would go through us first, and if it didn't work with us, then they would go and entertain other offers from agencies. Right. But you essentially eliminated the competition by focusing on that specialized market.
Yeah.
Huge advantage, right? Obviously you can charge premium prices, okay? Because people will actually pay for niche expertise, right? Because that's what it is. It's expertise. It's based on your experience, your knowledge of and people want to deal with experts. Yeah. We always say that, you don't want to ever lose that expert status in the client's eyes.
Nope.
This is how you create that expert status. And then all you got to do, you enter as an expert. Now it's just up to you to maintain it. That's all. Obviously your processes have become more streamlined because now it's like when you're onboarding customers, you don't have to learn things from scratch. Okay. We're dealing with, a customer right now, and they brought in another agency to help them with a different aspect of stuff that we don't do. Okay. It's been over 4 months and they still don't understand what the customer does. They don't understand the customer's target market, the demographics. They don't understand who their clients are. And what's happening is it's stalling everybody. It's stalling our work, right? It's the customers getting pissed off because the ramp up is so slow. But when you've got a niche expertise in a specific industry, dude, you can hit the ground running.
Yeah.
You can enter a relationship and start telling them about their business and the insights you've gained from there. And again, expert status at that, man, they put you on a pedestal at that point. And and you are everybody's best friend in that place. Man, that's nothing better feeling than that.
No, that's absolutely great. To be able to come into something and say, I have the understanding of what it is you need, and I have the understanding where you need to go.
It's true.
And still being able to understand the inner machinations of this tech style.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
So
which is complicated.
It is. But again, it's just, when you start getting into those market niches, the industry niches, it is a lot of rinse and repeat, which doesn't necessarily sound boring. Yeah, no. It just means you're not, re-ramping every single time. You don't have a generalized agency that, you've got one coffee shop, you've got one beauty line company, you've got one software app, you've got, a local car dealership. No. Yeah. Everybody is basically in the same pool of work, which is fantastic.
It's awesome to not have to switch gears like that.
Holy shit. Yeah.
You know
absolutely.
What I mean?
And you know what happens? What that does is that means you start attracting higher quality customers.
There you go.
And people don't realize this because once you become that expert, once you have that niche experience, that people, the personality, the reputation, people start finding you. And it happens. They want to work with you. So you start attracting the right kind of customers that we always talk about, that we always dream about, right? And I love that. That's fantastic, right? Obviously, you start gaining quick authority in the space. Your referrals, like you said before, go through the roof because it's like, hey, you know what? I'm a manufacturer of this. I have a friend, he's going through a struggle. It's in a similar industry. Can you help? Of course I can, right?
Yeah.
So, and people are happy to refer experts.
Yeah.
Okay. They, reluctant at times to refer a contractor that they use.
Yeah.
But if it's an expert, everybody wants to know an expert and wants to refer that expert.
Yeah.
So damn straight that, the quality of that's better. Obviously, your customer loyalty goes through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, our customer loyalty was to the point where we couldn't even fire customers. And if you listen to past episodes, you'll hear our problems trying to fire certain customers, and they just wouldn't leave. It is unreal.
You've done a good job when.
Well, because it's just like the fit's not there.
Yeah.
No. We'll
Please,
change.
please.
We'll do it. Damn.
It's not you, it's me.
It's they did know that.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It's just it's incredible, right?
Yeah.
And last but not least, the benefits of niching from a business perspective is then you've got less price competition because you're setting a price at this point.
Yep.
You can basically take the market average and heck, if you can justify it and qualify it, you can double it. Because of your expertise, if you actually have that expertise.
If you have,
don't do it as a scam.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is you start setting your own prices. You start elevating the bar, and people are willing to pay for it because they want to deal with someone who has expertise in their space.
Yeah.
Because even though they might be paying a higher upfront cost, the long-term cost, of them going with somebody else and learning and making mistakes in this is so much more. And they know this.
Yes. Like think of that company, 4 months and somebody still doesn't have the figured out what's going on here. That's a lot of money.
It's killer.
Yeah.
It hurts me when that happens, right? It really does.
Now, is this something that we could have been doing?
We don't want to do.
We don't want to do this. Okay.
This is a whole other.
That's good.
There's that whole other world that I just don't want to play in at all, unfortunately. But, at the same time, we can kind of give advice. We have other contractors that we deal with.
Right.
And oddly enough, I referred a contractor that does the exact same thing to our customer, but they have a niche in their space. So it's just like, you know what? I gave this other company a chance, because I'm not going to be a dick and be like, I only want to work with my people.
Yeah.
4 months, no results. And it's just like, you know what? Let me now bring in my people who know this space.
Know what's going on. Yeah.
And I can confidently make that recommendation.
Yeah.
Customers again, thank you. You know your shit.
Another benefit of niching.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly. Because your network.
You have people. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
And again, it just makes you a superpower. So there's so many business benefits for doing this.
Yeah.
There's personal benefits that people don't realize. Okay. And this is my favorite part, the personal benefits, right? Because again, it's like when you're in a niche, generally, you're in a niche of something that interests you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
An industry, a space that you actually genuinely have interest in. Okay. It's been 25, 26 years of this company, and I still am excited to learn everything that I did 25 years ago because I am genuinely interested, right? So what this does is, number one, it makes you look forward to working every day, okay? Because it's something that you are genuinely interested in, okay? Number two, it leads to less burnout, okay? Because it's hard to burn out if you love doing something and you're happy doing something. Burnout's usually a result of overwork, underpaid, doing something you hate.
You don't like.
Okay?
Exactly.
But at the same time, if you're really happy and you could be doing this 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you're doing it at your pace and you're loving it every minute, dude, you will not burn out.
Nope.
And that's why, it's been a great ride.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you can get this personal satisfaction because all of a sudden you're into this whole new world with these people. And it's just like, you're feeling like you're making a difference now because you're not just turning out work and just, in this bigger pool of graphic designers. You're now a specialist in an industry and you're getting acknowledgement for that. So that makes you feel your confidence goes through the roof. The personal satisfaction it's awesome.
It's huge.
Long-term stability. Okay. So again, although, like I said, some industries can be susceptible.
Yes, I was just going to say,
But you know what? Even in a recession, they still bounce back.
I know. And tech really hasn't.
Look, we've already had a boom. We had a bust in 2000.
Yes, exactly.
We now had another bust.
We had a bunch of busts, and
they're still paying.
We kept hiring.
Yes, yes,
so
exactly.
It's kind of, it is kind of recession proof almost to niche in this aspect.
Absolutely.
In the tech area.
Well, and we're kind of fortunate in that.
We're very
space,
lucky.
Right? Yeah, we're fortunate in that.
Yeah.
And that's a niche in a niche, but we'll get into that after too.
There you go.
And so again, more meaningful work because it's aligned with your passions, which you've talked about. It's got to make sure I want to cover all these, right?
Yeah.
Because you're not relearning the same shit over and over, just a different recipe.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
You're now, it's like your time management's through the roof, which means now you can actually balance this whole work-life thing, right? Because I'm not spending all of a sudden an extra 10 hours a week, every single week, learning all about a new industry for my customers' sake.
Exactly.
Creating brand new personas, brand new work environments, brand new, going through the psychographics, the demographics. No, I don't have to do that because now all of a sudden you have this innate knowledge of this space.
Yes.
You don't need to do this every week.
You've got a great foundation of IoT or something like that.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Right?
Yeah, you're already to base that on.
Exactly. So again, so that work-life balance goes through the roof, right? And all of a sudden you're enjoying life outside of what you're doing.
Right.
However, if you're an idiot like me, you love what you're doing so much, you're doing it even outside of work hours. Your client relationships are so strong, that often they even cross that whole client thing and you could become friends and you feel, and they bring you along on their journey. And then this is when the clients for life happens because generally somebody in your space, they're not dumb. They're going to take the niche that they have and they're going to move on in their niche, right? So there might be a marketer for broadband company A. They're going to go to broadband company B and be a marketer over there. And guess what? They'll bring you along because you know the space. They know they can trust you. You already work together. Yep. So it's like this client for life mentality that we constantly push.
Which is awesome. Yeah, that's happened to us so many times.
And then, your identity, you have a very clear professional identity for who you are and what you serve.
Right.
So now it's not all of a sudden, Sean, he's just a graphic designer. Okay. Which is cool as fuck. Don't get me wrong. But all of a sudden it's like, that dude, he's focusing or he specializes in tech.
Right.
He's the guy in tech.
Yes.
That's the go-to person.
Right.
That's what you want
Big time.
in this.
Yeah.
Okay. I get it. Maybe it was like, I don't want all that fame and glory if that's what you want to call it. But the thing is, when you're at a networking event and there's people lining up to talk to you.
Yes. Do you want to say, well, I do this and I do a little bit of that. And No. I'm a specialist in X.
Yeah. You don't even have, and that's the fun part. You don't have to say it. It's just like, you're the guy who knows the space. You're the one that they were talking about.
That's the guy.
And that's who you want to be.
That's exactly
it. There is equal personal benefits. Is there a business benefits? Okay. So, I can't stress that enough that it's like, it's more than just business because again, if you love what you do every day, it's never going to feel like work.
That's right.
And, I think that's, where I've been blessed with this place, surrounding myself with amazing people and everybody on the same journey, right? Like for the same, and everybody here understands the same technology. Maybe they didn't when they started, but damn do they afterwards.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
And it's like really cool.
Yeah.
People get scared about the myths that they hear about niching, that it's just like, dude, like get over these. Okay. So, for example, people are like, no. You have to choose between passion and profit. Right? People are often, if you really love it, you're not going to make any money at it.
So you got to go somewhere
that you're miserable,
that has all the money in it, like insurance or something like that.
You can have both if you niche down, okay? Right. Because then you are interested in a space,
right? And
you can, there's that whole thing, and I tell my kids this all the time. It's like if you genuinely love something, do that first, and the money will come.
Yes.
When I started this, I was just interested in how things were made. That was generally it. I wanted to know how things were made, how it went from idea to manufacturing, even past that to delivery, right? And so when we started, we were in the B2B manufacturing space, and I learned how things were made, from toaster ovens to cylinders, right? And it was really cool to learn that kind of stuff. I'm still the exact same guy, just now it's all about tech.
Now it's tech.
But now it's like, well, how does this whole new tech world work? This is how it works. So, and what happened? money came.
Yeah.
Because then all of a sudden we became niche experts. We understood, people sought us out, and I was still designing, doing that. So absolutely bullshit that you have to choose between passion and profit.
Yeah.
Okay. Niching limits opportunities. That's the fucking stupidest thing I've ever fucking heard in my life.
That I don't understand.
This is something that people think if you niche, you're going to be closing the door on a lot of shit.
Yeah.
But the reality is it creates better opportunities with better clients.
Yes.
So you're right. You're not going to be asked to do a flyer for an event for a poetry reading at a coffee shop next Tuesday night, and we've only got $20 and free coffee for you to do it. You're right. You won't get that opportunity.
You won't get that opportunity.
You might actually get a giant gala for a specific, a specific industry event instead, where you're going to have to not only do the logo and the invites and the posters and even the, you know what I mean?
Like everything that comes along with this event. Yes.
Stupid,
signage, whatever,
right?
Yeah.
Limiting opportunities. It's ridiculous. It's completely the opposite, right? You'll get bored. Okay, is another thing that people think. Oh, if you're in an industry, you'll get bored if you're niching in an industry.
Yeah.
So this one blows me away because it's like, all you're doing is narrowing your focus. Okay, it doesn't mean if you're going to get bored of graphic design, it doesn't matter if you're a generalist or if you're a specialist. You're going to get bored of graphic design.
Yes.
Okay, but the
Yes.
reality is you're going to start diving deeper. As an industry, as a niche expert, you're going to start diving deeper into something that interests you. So why would you get bored at that?
Yeah.
Like, let's say after year 12, I got tired of doing graphic design, but I wanted to do web design.
Yeah.
Well, I could have easily made that transition into web design
Yeah.
and still stuck in my industry.
Yeah.
So the niche would still give me that many more opportunities.
Yeah.
So, I mean, by sticking in a niche, you're never going to get bored because, I mean, again, ideally, what excites you hasn't changed. It's just you've narrowed your focus and given yourself that opportunity to actually do the things that you want to do to keep you engaged.
But how important is passion at this? Like you said in the beginning, with manufacturing, you were really interested in that. So you have to be passionate about it.
I agree. And I still think you do.
Okay.
Right? If you get bored, and like this whole idea is you'll get bored because you'll be stuck in an industry, you're going to get bored in every industry.
Then you're
That's a whole other problem altogether, in my opinion. Okay.
Yeah.
Niching isn't going to get you bored because, again, niching, that market is so fucking big to niche. And it doesn't matter what market it is. Every market is a giant market. Okay.
Yeah.
You'll limit your creativity. Okay, that's something people hear, which again, in my opinion,
that's
impossible. In my opinion, well, in my opinion, because just because I am now in a niche, space, or we are now, dealing with broadband companies and IoT companies. Well, now we can take inspirations from companies. Like we can see something that Lincoln does, okay, and I'm like, holy shit, that's really cool.
Yep.
Granted, maybe flames won't work on my customer. But I can take the intensity. I know, right? But I can take that intensity. I can take that energy they put behind it, the boldness
of what they're doing.
Exactly. And I can put that into our work.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's what happens. And that's what we do.
Yes.
I kind of feel like, it's better.
Yeah.
Personally, because again, I see something from Paul Rand. I'm like, oh shit, I could work on that. I could make that work. I put it in a brand that we're working on. I see something Lincoln does, something Droplin does, something, Peters does. And again, I'm pulling it all in on a regular basis.
Yes.
So again, there's no way that we're limiting our creativity no matter how you cut it on this. Well, because working on the same thing, I'm not saying work on the exact same niche company. I'm not saying, movie rental company. That's all I'm going to do is a movie. Although, there probably would have been a market for that back in the day. Come to think of it, if you think bigger, but we can get to that because again, there's a whole bigger,
there's a bigger section.
No market too small in my opinion. You'll turn down too many clients.
Yeah.
That's a big one. You're going to turn away all this work. I used to have this conversation with one of our customers and they had a business and it was a great business, but 80% of his work came from, 20%, of a certain customer, but he had all these other, ankle biters that were giving him small work. And I'm like, dude, this whole market is only 20% of your bottom line. And they're nothing but headaches. Oh, but it's still $200,000. It's still $200,000 a year. I don't want to get rid of that. I'm like, dude, you get rid of those fuckers, you can triple the other side because you're focused. No, I don't want to. And he kept on thinking what he was going to lose, but he couldn't wrap his mind around what he could gain. Okay, and that's...
So getting rid of the 20%er guy and working with the ankle biters was the better choice.
Well, in his opinion, he didn't want to get rid of the ankle biters because he had that old school mentality of every penny counted.
Okay,
That's not the reality.
Get rid of that shit.
I'm saying you get rid of the ankle biters, right?
And you focus hard on that.
You get rid, as a niche expert, you get rid of the wrong customers,
right?
And you start taking on more of the right ones. You focus on the right ones.
That's good.
Because again, you know that one right customer could make up for 5 wrong ones.
Yep.
Right.
Totally.
And that's what you have to do. Yep. So you're right. You might actually turn down a lot of customers because they're not the right customers for what you want, and that's probably a good thing.
That's exactly, because they're all PETAs.
Pains
in the ass.
Yes, right? Exactly, right?
Yeah.
People sometimes think that, like niching is risky. Sure, as anything in this space.
Yes, right.
But being a generalist is risky.
Yeah.
Okay, because then you are in a bigger pool with more competition. There is more downside, okay, where, the only thing, in my opinion, risky about being a niche expert is if there's a recession.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
Big fucking deal.
Yep.
Okay? Because you're in that industry so well that you can find ways out of that recession. We did twice.
Yeah.
Okay? And it's working for us, right? And then, the biggest one is people say that niching means there's less clients out there. There's less work. If you niche, well, now you've only got a small amount of customers that you could. And this is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. Niching gets you less customers. Okay. So let's put this in perspective. Okay. Because again, I think this is fucking ridiculous. Okay. In North America, small, medium, large businesses, there's almost 35 million of them. And hey,
shit.
As a generalist, you can go after all of them. Good for you. Okay. But,
charge them $1 a piece and you're set.
Because at 35 million, I'm sure I can get at least 1% because I'm fucking Joe Rockstar. Okay. Now, if you were to focus in on an industry of that 35 million, okay, if you were to focus in on a niche, music, just music related businesses, because you're a musician.
Be careful.
Okay, you're a musician.
Write this down.
And so is Chris Stapleton. Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
There is between 600,000 and 1 million businesses.
Holy shit.
Is that a big enough pot for you if you're an expert? Okay. How about you wanted to do health and wellness? There is an upwards of 2 million businesses that
health
focus
and wellness.
in health and wellness. Okay.
Like spas and stuff like that.
You know what? Animal related businesses are almost 1.7 million different businesses focus on animals.
Jeez.
So niching really brings down that market. Let me put something else into perspective for you guys, okay? We have a customer that is a super, super micro niche, market that they serve.
Yep.
They have less than 1,000 customers in North America that fits their niche. They are almost $1 billion company.
Holy shit.
They have less than 1,000 customers and they're almost $1 billion. So you tell me that niching limits the size of your market potential? Fucking niching gets you through the roof. It takes you through the roof.
Yes.
So you can't use that argument. That's the stupidest thing. That upsets me more than anything else. I get so pissed when I hear that.
I guess.
Oh, your niche agency? Can you'll find
never
work?
Survive. Yeah.
Dude, I got so much work coming out of our ass that I don't even know how we're going to get it all done if we're not working 24 hours a day. Shit. So
wow, that is very cool. Like that to me is a shock.
Oh,
that is a shock.
And I get it because it's such a huge misconception.
Massive. 35 million businesses.
So if you are a generalist going after anybody who wants work, you've got the lot of 35 million. Good luck trying to pick something. Because it is so stressful. So when people say, how do you find work? dude, the first thing I do is I pick a niche. I narrow my search and I focus in on somebody, right?
You can't help but niche. Like, how could you couldn't sort through 35 million companies.
Jeez,
you have to pick what you like, what you want to work with. And then the passion comes with
the passion, the energy, the expertise, and the specializing, and it will follow.
Yep.
And again, when we started, we grew so fast. And, you know, like within 2 years, we went from like 2 people to 12 people.
Yep.
Okay. And that was fun.
Yeah.
And you know what the sad part is? We were young and stupid and had no idea what the fuck we were doing. But because we were in a niche industry and we were hungry, we were catching, we were shooting fish in a barrel, as crude as that sounds.
Yeah, I know.
And we were just, because again, it was just like, I want to deal with an expert. I'll deal with the other.
Yep.
And we learned so much at that time. And then when we were much more mature and then, you know, redid our pitch into our industry, you know, into the tech industry, well, that changed everything because our rates tripled, our expertise grew, you know, our industries were more refined.
It grew again.
Oh, man. And it was the best thing we could have done.
Yep. Totally.
So I understand where people get, you know, scared about this because they're like, well, where do I start? And ultimately, you know, I came up with this list, okay, of how to discover your niche. Okay.
Ooh.
Your niche. Okay. So again, don't follow my niche.
Yeah.
Number one, because fucking find you.
Yeah, get out of the tech industry. God damn it, we'll find you.
We'll find you.
We are as tough as we look.
Oh, shit. No, but for real, because you know what? It's scary to think, you know, how would one even go about this? How do you find this industry? Okay.
Yeah.
So let me break this down. Okay. And this is kind of what I did is I dissected how I went about this.
Okay.
Okay. Step one, me personally, you know, I followed my interests, but for you or anybody else, follow your curiosity. Follow something that interests you, okay? Focus on industries that you can talk about all day long. That, you know, when you're at a magazine rack, you're going to go reach for to find out. I don't care if it's fashion. I don't care if it's programming. I don't care if it's, you know, food, whatever. Find something, you know, that makes you excited, that makes you want to learn about, okay? So what do you enjoy, right? What do you talk about with your friends, okay? If you don't talk about anything, it's pretty fucking boring, but you can probably still come with a niche. If you're someone who just talks about politics all the time, boring as hell, there's a niche there. You know, you talk about music, there's a niche there. You talk about, you know, like the environment and the concerns, there's a niche there. Okay? So find out what, you know, cranks your gears. Okay. And what makes you work, right? And, you know, what do you love reading, researching, discussing, right? Start there first.
Nice.
Okay. Once you kind of get an idea of that, right? Kind of take a look and see what the size of that market potential is. Okay. And then when you do, analyze the gaps in that market. Okay. And what I mean to that is first and foremost, you have to brainstorm. Okay. Every different aspect and path of that industry. So when I talk to you about like music, I'm not talking about just Long and McQuaid, the music store.
The big one.
Okay, that's cool. But
There's
now
other ones.
Take it a step further, right? Number one, there's music stores. Then there's music store distributors. Okay. Then there's the manufacturers of the instruments that put them in the music stores. Then there's events. Then there's event agents. There's promotion companies. You can start dissecting any industry, okay, to the point where your ears are going to bleed. Your head's going to explode, okay? Animal wellness. You can go everything from manufacturing food to toy manufacturing to like dog walkers to boarding kennels, shit. And then if you want to get, you know, a little higher level, you can then go into city level, help city pounds. And there's so much. And then you can, you know, provide them so many services within that, okay? Find the industry and brainstorm every possible corner, niche, whatever you want of that industry, okay? Look for the problems that they have, okay? And then kind of see what lacks good design, branding, marketing, what lacks what you can deliver. Okay. So if you're like, you know what, you know, my local pound, and now I'm on pets, my local pound always has a problem adopting, you know, they always have too many cats. Okay. Well,
I need a campaign.
I need a campaign. I can kind of get to their market. I can create a marketing campaign.
Yep.
We could do it on their email. We could get them posters. We could create events for it, right?
Yeah.
There's so much you can do just on that one tiny
thing.
problem.
Yeah.
Let alone all the problems that you can find within that niche, right? So again,
awesome.
this is where it's like, identifying the problems that are there.
Yeah.
It's like that Venn diagram idea, right? That this is the market.
Yep.
And this is everything you do.
Mhm.
And this is that little section.
Spot in the middle
that
there. That's
you
perfection.
can own.
Yes.
Right. So that's what you want to do. Okay. And then from there, if you want to find more of these problems that they have, dig deeper.
Yeah.
Go into forums. Okay. I joke about Reddit all the time. Go into Reddit, right?
Reddit's huge.
Do searches online to see, where there's, legs in the industry. Shit, use AI, use chat and figure out, what the downfalls are of the space, the inefficiencies that it's able to scrape off the net, right?
Yeah.
So that's your goal, is to find out, how big the market is, the gaps, and where you can service that. Okay. Wow. So that's where step 3 is, you have to find out how you can help. So I kind of jumped ahead on this one. Okay. So you want to match your skills to the gaps that you discovered.
Yeah.
That is technically step 3. I got too excited and jumped ahead. I have that problem of getting too excited. Sorry, guys.
Niching really gets you hot. We'll need a break here, folks.
Ew. Step 4. Before this turns X-rated. Test your niche. Okay. And this is what people are always forget. Okay. You don't have to jump in 100%.
Oh, okay.
You can test it.
Oh, okay.
Right now, as a general graphic designer, as a general agency, what are you doing? You are basically, fighting for the same kind of work that everybody fucking doing.
Else's, yeah.
Who's to say that while you're doing that, you can't be like, hey, I'm also going to focus part of my time and energy in this area and see if it works. Yeah. I'm going to try these pitches. I'm going to say these messages. I'm going to use this stuff, right? This is your opportunity to, you don't have to commit 100% initially. Yeah. Okay. Test those fucking waters. Okay. And then see if there's a good fit, number 1, for you. Yeah. Because you know what? Maybe once you're in it, you might be like, I don't like it as much as I thought. Hey, you're no further ahead than you were before. You're no further behind, than you were before. True. Okay. So do that, right? And this is where you have to start asking yourself the real hard questions. Okay. And you have to be prepared for this. Do I really like this niche?
There we go.
So again, you're testing the waters. Yeah. So this is your opportunity to be like, do I like the animal industry? Do I like health and wellness? Do I like pharma? Is this everything I thought it was going to be?
Right.
You don't have to continue. Yeah. Okay. But it's a good step to kind of test the waters and see if this is, and you
tried.
Exactly. And you'll expose yourself to so much more.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So there's that. You have to make sure that, what you're doing is providing value that somebody is willing to pay for.
Right.
Okay. In those spaces. Okay. So remember that if you can do that and you're still enjoying it, well, then you're on to something good. And that leads to step 5, which is commit and specialize. So once you've actually validated the fact that, I love this, this feels good, I'm having a good time, I'm loving the networking events, I'm loving the energy I'm feeling back. Exactly, right? Tailor your branding, tailor your portfolio, okay? Tailor your messaging, to fully target this industry, okay? This is where now you will invest and position yourself as the go-to expert. It doesn't mean you can't take anything else if it doesn't fit that criteria we talked about. But the thing is, now you're basically committing to who you're going to be marketing yourself and your company to. Yeah. Okay. So that's what you have to do, right? Nice. Number 6, and then when you do, be prepared. Industry events, start attending them. Okay. Networking, create content that, appeals to that market. Get active on LinkedIn, right? Put that shit out and become that expert because you're now committing to it.
You're in. Yeah.
Okay.
And you need
so
to
now
expand.
that you're committing, exactly. Step 6, adapt and evolve as the industry does. And this is massive. And this is how you ride recessions through. Yes. Okay. Because that's what we did. The first time we went from 12 people back down to 4. Okay. It was pretty tough. Second time, didn't change anything.
Yep.
Second recession,
Went right through it.
didn't even feel it because we adapted and evolved as we knew we could, because we were now experts. We knew what people needed, and we saw that coming, and we were able to position ourselves to still offer other services that worked for us, kept everybody paid, and we rode through that thing to be a bigger, better company, right? So, keep an eye on the industry changes, stay flexible with your approach, what you're going to offer, right? And make sure that you're willing to pivot if you need to get through whatever times come ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. And last but not least, step 7. This is a bonus step. Okay. As you grow in your niche, look for micro niches and opportunities. Okay. Just like our customer who I said, they have less than 1,000 customers.
Right.
They capitalized on that, and they are almost $1 billion customer. Okay. We were a B2B technology company, right? B2B, technology branding strategy company.
Yeah.
We niched even further and became IoT and broadband specialists, right? This didn't just happen because we just pulled it out of our ass.
It's just like, well, let's
try this. It was because we started gaining this specialized knowledge. We started getting insight into that industry that we were like, wow, there's a huge
market
opportunity here. There's a huge market opportunity. And we jumped on that shit. So as you started growing our niche, we looked for these unique opportunities within our niche, which we could win. And again, it worked for us to the point where, guess what? We built some apps. We got some industry knowledge. We were acquired. And now we are continually moving forward and bringing stuff back to our niche that's making them be like, oh, damn, I had no idea. We're pointing people out on shit that the FCC is dictating. Okay, and we're like, did you know that the FCC wants it like this? And we have to build it like that. Like, oh, God, no.
Should we?
Exactly. Here, how about I just pay you to do it for me? Thank you.
There you go. Yeah.
So again, this is, the easiest way. Okay, this is how I would approach to discovering your niche if I had to start over. Okay, look for what makes you curious, evaluate your market size and analyze the gaps within there. Okay, figure out how you can help in that market. Okay, test that niche. More than anything, test it. Make sure you're happy with it. You're willing to commit to it.
This is what you want. Yeah.
Commit and specialize. Boy, do you then commit and specialize to that shit.
That's it.
Adapt and evolve, continuously moving forward. And last but not least, look for micro opportunities. Dude, if you guys do this, it doesn't mean that you're going to change what you do. It just means who you're doing it for.
Right.
And it's still a giant market. You throw me any business, okay? You can tell, like lactation specialists. Okay, well, you know what? There's everything from training videos, there's brochures, there's logos, there's small organizations, there's at-home services. There's so much, even in something as crazy niche as that.
Yeah.
So, questions, industries, let's brainstorm this shit together and let me know if you have any questions. Because, awesome. This is cool. I believe in this.
This is really good.
Made a huge difference to this company, to me personally, hopefully to you and everybody else who works
big
here.
time. Oh, yeah.
So, our attrition, our like people leaving this place and come back is very little. People kind of stay for a long time. So
they usually get canned. Because you're not pulling your weight.
That asshole Moss.
No, I'm serious.
That is the people.
Like some people, I think, what a waste. What a waste. You can't make this work.
Agreed.
This is a 100%. Fucking awesome space. We're in the tech industry. This is a great company to work for.
Cool. All right, everybody.
Awesome.
Don't be scared to reach out with questions on this. I encourage you. I hope you can kind of get something out of this. This one ran a little longer than usual, but this is something I'm so passionate about. And
really?
I do.
We all couldn't tell.
This is your future that I'm trying to recommend what worked for me. Hopefully it'll work for you.
Yeah.
All right?
Yes.
All right, everybody. With that being said, my name is Massimo.
My name is Sean.
Stay very, very, very nichely creative.
But stay nichely angry.
Oh, yeah. Punch in the face. Peace. Peace.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift. Oh,
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.